Finally. Welcome everybody to 2016. And we have so much to look forward to, like Norm of the North, Gods of Egypt, The Huntsman, Central Intelligence, and that Ghostbusters movie with the fat person from Bridesmaids. Actually, I think I'll just go and hang myself right now. Okay, so I guess 2016 isn't looking too bright as far as movies go at this time. So to ease my pain in yours, I'll be counting down my top 20 movies of 2015. Because, believe it or not, it was actually a pretty damn good year. Well, by some standards. Over the course of the past 20 years or so in this whole postmodern era, certain filmmakers have been associated with the very fucking essence of notoriety. People like Gaspar Noé, Lars von Trier, Werner Herzog, they have been criticized for providing visceral examinations of the shitty side of human ideology, depicting repulsive violence and sexuality, bring new interpretations of what it means exactly to exist. And based upon the general social response to Yorgos Lanthimos' The Lobster, the director of this movie may be soon joining those ranks. On paper, in concept, and to your average studio executive, The Lobster is a fucking repulsive movie. It is unsatisfying, it depicts unabashed cruelty for reasons that are immediately clear, which is, of course, a huge turnoff for many viewers, and is visually bland, and its world essentially goes nowhere at first glance. And for those exact reasons, it is one of the most satisfying and successful movies of this year. It achieves every goal on the director's checklist. He fulfills every promise and every goal. Why is that, you may be asking? Because it seems like it completely failed in all directions by what I just said. It's because the depiction of such cruelty, the depiction of such blandness, is what the message is all about. That is what is essential in telling its story. Through its unconventionally unsatisfying nature, it allows you to be brought into this world where things just don't work out. Into this world where cruelty reigns and nobody bats an eye, where nihilism is the central ideology of the socio-political court. It is a fucked world, but it is a world that essentially acts as a metaphor for society today. It's great. It's hard to put into words, and I know this isn't exactly something you want to start out with, confusing people from off the bat, but that is the way that Yorgos Lanthimos' The Lobster acts. It is one of the most unique movies we have seen in a long, long time. Definitely go check it out if you do have a strong stomach. I mean, it's certainly no Antichrist in how appalling it is, but it's up there in its abrasiveness, and for that, I applaud it. Next one. And here in this spot, we have Listen to Me Marlin, directed by Stephen Riley, a relative newcomer who is mostly stuck to documentaries, and this is no exception, but my god, this is theatrical. This is a portrait, of course, of Marlon Brando's life, and it is as unfiltered as one may hope it would be. But it is never exploitive, and that is what really stands out in this. It is never exploited, and it has a sense of restraint in a respectful and organized manner, but on top of that, it has a visual flair, a creative visual flair that obviously took a lot to muster and a lot to sync up with the tone present within the depths of the content, and it's gripping. It really is gripping. It's never visually arresting, but it is stimulating to the point where you definitely want to hear what's being said about this person. It's a documentary nearly as complex as its subject, but it never actually steeps to overcoming it with grandeur and flashiness. So definitely go and check this out. I had the wonderful opportunity to see this in a art house cinema, and now it's only on TV, and So yeah, give this one a try. You know, when I saw the poster and the trailer for Me and Earl and the Dying Girl and heard so much incessant praise over it, I had one thought and one thought alone. Juno! With cancer. But anyway, this surpassed expectations in this sum. Alfonso Gomez-Rejon, the director, obviously has a strong handle on filmmaking. He has assisted Scorsese, Kevin McDonald. It is obvious that he does have some kind of root in the Tuesday night television comedy drama area. We see a lot of snap zooms, we see a lot of trial and error problems that can be solved within a 30-minute basis, but it all works, surprisingly enough. Everybody on this project is very passionate about what they're doing. I mean, fuck, even these newcomers like Thomas Mann and RJ Cyler or Olivia Cook, and even fucking Nick Offerman. Nick fucking Offerman is good in this movie, and that is because they're working with a screenplay that is immaculate. Some of the directorial and production decisions made within the film, especially in the first act and the introduction of the central characters, are kind of questionable, especially sometimes when they attempt to relate to the audience and it seems like insistent pandering. But god damn, is this movie witty. And yes, based on the posters and the trailers, I knew that this is at least going to try to be heartfelt, but I didn't expect it to do it with this kind of competence. Emotionally destructive moments have proper build-up, and that's mainly because of the characters' development and in the dialogue which occurs between them, which is shockingly good. Well, it's not exactly realistic to say the least, but it works within the confines of the story, which is obviously not a world or a universe entirely related to ours, because really, what fucking normal high schooler goes into a video store to look for Criterion discs? Well, me. All joking aside, Me and Earl the Dying Girl is an incredibly competent movie which exceeds expectations in its inescapable roots in the YA genre, and that, in my eyes, is enough to warrant substantial merit. And here at this spot, we had the Stanford Prison Experiment, a slow burn psychological drama from newcomer Kyle Patrick Alvarez, and this is really flawed. I mean, it is inconsistent, just thematically inconsistent. The pacing is fucked. The third act brings in characters with motivations unheard of, which would have been welcome, but it's just kind of comes off as forced and creating commentary, but it is in many ways truly a breath of fresh air what this film has done. Never in the past few years, at least to my knowledge, have we had a film this hellbent, at least in the first two acts, in giving the audience time to think, time to breathe, time to contemplate, time to ask themselves, what would you do? What do you think? As the title implies, this revolves around the Stanford Prison Experiment, which took place in the 1970s, in which a group of college teens had volunteered to take part in a social experiment which tested their psychological limit and kind of took its course. Many of you already know this, I'm sure, but we have never seen really an analysis of group hostility this up close, with this much personal strength. When I say personal strength, I don't say that it's an intimate or an emotionally messy film, a film that puts emotion upon you. I mean that it really gets up in your face, breathes on your neck, and whispers in your ear, what do you think? What would you do? It's involving, it is slow burn, it's very remarkable in many fields, especially in how it offers multi-layered views of the scenario which we are given. Like I said in the beginning, this is a very flawed one, but it is one that I think will have some staying power, especially when measured up to Adrian Brody's take on this sort of genre. I mean, something else to mention about this, the acting, Jesus Christ, it is convincing. I mean, we saw Ezra Miller in The Perks of Being a Wallflower. This is a major step up for him, and Billy Crudup, goddamn. All in all, it's sanitized, but it's personal, and it asks you, what would you do? And for that, it is a film that is truly worth it, if not a little bit long-winded, which is why it's kind of featured on the bottom of this list. But hey, it's on the list, so I guess that says something. Mission Impossible Rogue Nation is a movie of clear-cut risks and consequences, questions and answers, and that is why it is so goddamn refreshing amongst all of these action pictures as of late. It lays everything on the table for you to see. It has nothing to hide. It has a concise and crystalline goal that is just something that is not exactly seen in action pictures this ambitious and this widespread and this globe-trotting and this wide and huge. in inherent nature. It is smooth in its political intrigue, and it is never convoluted, or maybe it is convoluted in concept, but its delivery is what makes it so remarkable, and this is in part because of the extremely competent writing along with Christopher McQuarrie's involved direction. And beyond all of this, what we're all thinking of course, in a film like this, is the action, and holy fucking shit, it delivers. This is real. This is grounded. This feels like we're standing alongside the characters, in part due to the cinematography, but not just the cinematography, the performances by Tom Cruise, Simon Pegg. I mean, they're all incredibly likable, but they're people with personal motivations beyond their, eponymous mission. And holy god, the stunt work. The stunt work, I mean, I'm sure that you've heard a lot about this movie's stunt work and how remarkable it is and how it compares up to the, I hate to say, the CGI bullshit of today, but it's real. It's involving, because you can reach out and touch it. You can just feel it with your eyes. You can take in the surroundings because none of it is fabricated. I am well aware that some of it is digitally enhanced, but for the most part, its seamless blend and its conservative use of computer technology is commendable, and that, along with the sound mixing, really does make for an overall immersive experience that we haven't really seen in a while from the Mission Impossible series, in my opinion. And wow, I say series. This is the 5th in a series. Keep this in mind. This has done nothing but improve, and how rare is that today? And I can't believe I'm saying this, but hats off and kudos to the studio for constantly hiring a director who is willing to breathe in fresh air into this franchise, to keep it alive, to keep it relevant, and to keep it real and grounded, but still able to establish a world of fantasy, a world which forces us to suspend our disbelief. But that's all a part of the fun. And when you just balance that with how real and tangible everything feels, you have something that really is quite outstanding. So yes, Mission Impossible Rogue Nation is one of the best action films in years, and I recommend it highly, highly, highly. Now, at number 15, we have The End of the Tour. A movie so difficult to describe that it's taken me 5 takes to even get out 20 words before stumbling over. And why is that? Well, it's because I want to sound intelligent. In the presence of a movie this colossally poignant and wise and poetic and so damn smart, I just want to sound worthy to bring some kind of analysis. I want to do it justice. I want to provide an analysis as relevant as the movie itself, and I've just come to the definite realization that will never happen, and that's because The End of the Tour is a movie that goes beyond the boundaries of spoken analysis. It is too moving and too spiritual to be dissected with the cold tools of big academic words, because that defeats the very purpose, that defeats what it stands for. And all in all, if you want my light synopsis, think of a countercultural version of My Dinner with Andre. Except, the characters don't represent or mean ideals or explicit philosophy. These characters, when they speak, they just mean themselves, what lives within them. And that is what makes this journey so emotionally satisfying. And of course, we've got great actors and storytellers like Jason Segel and Jesse Eisenberg, David Lipsky, and James Ponsoldt to bring to life. And to say that this is a human dynamic worth listening to is an absolute understatement. Please, for the love of God, check this out. I may dive into this a little bit more later, once the buzz has died down. So we finally reached the end of this long-winded part 1 video. Thanks for watching the first installment of 4 of the top 20 movies of 2015. The next 3 parts will be coming in the soon-to-be-here weeks. And stay tuned for the next 15 seconds or so to receive a special message to my former subscribers of Wolf Game Alpha, and a little bit of an update of what's been going on and what this all means to me and whatnot. For now, enjoy some footage of my adorable, albeit blind, dog. For those of you new to the channel, this used to be a relatively active channel that went by the name of Wolf Game Alpha that I hosted. Made gaming videos by myself, let's play videos, and it was something that I was relatively passionate about and updated on a daily to semi-weekly basis. And I dropped off the face of the earth, much to the disappointment of a lot of people. To be entirely honest, I always had the feeling that I was going to come back soon. Come back in a week, come back in 2 weeks, come back the next day, but it never happened, and that's why I never really said anything formal. And after 6 months or so, it just kinda completely dissipated from my life, completely dissolved. My love of gaming, it's essentially not here. It's gone now. Not much to see. I'm here officially to say that Wolf Game Alpha is no more, and I apologize profusely, but with the death of Wolf Game Alpha, the definite and announced death of Wolf Game Alpha, we see the birth of a new channel. A channel that actually means something to me and isn't just slapped together shit with captured gameplay in the voice of a 13, 12-year-old kid going through puberty. Cinerage. All about this. All about the thing that has surrounded my life for like the past few years, and that I have actually really fallen in love with, and that has helped me through the best of times and the worst of times, and that is film. Film is actually something that I can give insight, possibly influence people on, and I feel like I can actually contribute something. I feel like I need to contribute something. I think that with the audience I used to have, even though a lot of them went away, the audience I used to have, and new members that I may attain, it's time to return as Cinerage. This channel will be covering everything from movie news, movie reviews, new movie reviews, countdown list. As you just saw, this is part 1 of 4. As the video implies, you will be seeing 15 through 1 in the coming weeks, God willing, or Allah willing, whatever willing, thing willing. But this is something that I'm excited for. This is kind of the rebirth of my creative outlet that I tapped into so long ago, and I'm glad to be sharing it publicly with you guys. So, welcome to all the newcomers, and a great big awkward hug to all the people that used to be there.